The Great Lakes, our treasure. It's how we move. It's what we drink. It's where we live. Their waters hold our memories. Their depths carry, sustain, and emanate life. They're ours to enjoy and ours to protect.
We don't really know what the next bad invader in the Great Lakes is going to be. What we do know is over the last 150 years or so that we've gotten about 1 or 2 non-native species into the Great Lakes each year, and some of them have been very bad and changed the ecology drastically and caused economic harm. It's important that we have regulations to lower the rate at which invasive organisms come into the Great Lakes. What the next challenging organism will be, we don't know. Will it be something that competes with Great Lakes fish for nutrients? Will it be a pathogen that causes disease to our fish, our fisheries, or to humans? We're uncertain. But what we are certain is that if we don't close down the ballast water pathway, there will be new invaders that will cause problems.
Holding a workshop here in Superior, Wisconsin to look at what the options are for indicative analysis of ballast water quality. Ballast water is something that cargo ships load on board. They just suck up water from a harbor so that they can stay deep enough in the water that they're not blown around by the wind and waves. So what happens by accident is that when they take up that water from the port of origin, of course, everybody living in that water comes too. And those organisms may be completely different than what we have in the Great Lakes. But that ship will come across the high seas where those organisms could never pass on their own. They hitchhike a ride in that ship, and that ship takes them to a whole new ecosystem. They're dropped off there. In this new place, there aren't the things in their old place that kind of keeps their populations in check. So they may overpopulate and push other things out that are natural. So we've pulled together vendors and developers of different indicative monitoring tools in order to have them talk together with the prospective users of those tools. We're enjoying having them all together because they're sharing about their different approaches to monitoring and learning from each other.
We had people come in to actually use instruments in a more or less realistic situation and to get more familiar with the Great Lakes environment. The organisms that live in the Great Lakes are different from those that are encountered elsewhere. Even though the technology developers are in some sense competing with one another, they are actually working in many cases on complementary technologies. One technology may measure more precisely, another technology may measure more broadly. By combining those, we can get a better picture of what's in the ballast.
Ship owners don't want to be caught in a compliance situation. They'd rather know in advance whether they're discharging water that's been treated effectively, so they may want to monitor pre-compliance or beyond compliance to see how well they're doing. Well, the equipment is making huge progress over time recently, so they're improving it by leaps and bounds. And what we see are many different approaches to sensing whether ballast treatment has happened or not, and taking different angles on what that resulting discharge would look like or should look like. We're seeing that some of these vendors are automating their systems so that they can be built right into the ballast line and take periodic samples. They can send information electronically. It can be tamper-proof information. So they're really bringing a lot of intelligence and background to this problem and producing some pretty amazing things.